Hi, I'm Dan. I might look like a great catch, but I'm actually emotionally unavailable. Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well and staying safe. Welcome to my channel and welcome back for those who've been here for a while. My name is Quinn and today I'm starting this new series called The X-File, where I will attempt to explain those weird, confusing, and often frustrating behaviors that your ex did. Hopefully, this new understanding will help give you the insight you need to get over your ex. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. Also, please consider supporting me on Patreon if you find this helpful. And as always, I am available for coaching at healingafterbreakup.com. All right, now let's get to Mr. Emotionally Unavailable. So up until about 3 years ago, I didn't really know what emotionally unavailable actually means. I naively thought that it means that the guy couldn't be there for his girlfriend or significant other when she needed him because he was busy with work or some other important events. Little did I know, all the guys I dated up till that point were all emotionally unavailable in one form or another. To make it even more confusing, they did not fit neatly into those checklists of signs that I read on the internet or watch on YouTube. And it was really, really confusing for me. It was like everyone was trying to describe a part of an elephant, but not the whole animal. Now, I'm not saying that I am an expert on these guys, but I have developed a fine-tuned antenna after dealing with them or dating them for almost 15 years. So here is my personal definition of what an emotionally unavailable man is. This is a guy who is disconnected from his heart, either temporarily due to circumstances or chronically as a result of his unhealed wounds. Therefore, he is unable to feel, give, or receive love from others and himself fully or deeply. One of my ex even summed it up nicely when he said, "I don't have the capacity to love." Not all emotionally unavailable guys are the same in their presentation, which can be very confusing when you're trying to figure out who the heck it is that you're dealing with. This is why it has taken me years to connect all the dots, because on the surface, they look so different. To keep it simple, I grouped them into 3 major categories. The first one is the bad boy. These guys are known heartbreakers and unapologetic about their behaviors. They consist of pickup artists, players, F-boys, or perpetual bachelors who prefer to play the field over getting tied down in a relationship. Being emotionally unavailable suits their lifestyle just fine, and if anything, it makes it easier for them to move on quickly or to have multiple partners at the same time. They generally do not value commitment, marriage, or having a deeper connection with someone beyond the casual flings, hookups, or short-term relationships. Their feelings for you is generally surface level deep and usually do just enough to get what they want from you and then bounce. And if they do stay around, do not expect them to stay faithful or fulfill your emotional needs. Their motto is, "Life is short, women are plenty, live and let live." Now, so you're wondering, well, why are we drawn to these guys? And most of the time for women, it's because they are charming. They're good looking. They have money. They're great at seduction. And they can be very spontaneous, fun, and very exciting. Just know that they will never become the reliable and dependable family man. If that is what you want, a traditional monogamous relationship, he is not for you. Now, the second type is Mr. Robot. This type of men tend to be the thinking, working type, who pride himself on being objective, logical, and rational. He is naturally emotionally detached and relate to his partner on a mental and physical level, but lack the empathy to connect with her emotionally. On first impression, he looks great on paper. He can be accomplished, has a good stable career, usually in the STEM field, and want to be in a committed relationship. But don't look to him to be anything beyond a provider or protector. This is no shade on him, but mainly it's because he lives in his head, who value the intellect over emotions and have little to no empathy of other people's feelings besides his own. Unless he is grown or mature, he is generally not a good listener. He gets impatient and dismissive when you express your feelings to him, which basically sounds like Greek. When you guys get into an argument, he would generally either ignore you or invalidate your feelings by calling you crazy, emotional, and irrational, right? All the things us women hates. So life with him can be generally stable and drama-free, as long as you don't ask him to talk about his feelings or you talk about yours. His motto is, I think, therefore I am. Who needs emotions? Now, in this type of a relationship, it's fine if you are an intellectual yourself or you don't have much of a need for an emotional connection. You just want a stable, secure guy who can provide and you in return appreciate his cool, calm, and in-charge demeanor. Those are his good points. However, if you want that deep, intimate connection with a passionate lover who can understand you on a deep, deep level, he might not be the guy for you in the long run. Number 3 is Mr. Ambivalent. This is the classic emotionally unavailable man who is notorious for giving you mixed signals, playing hot and cold, and just will not commit, even though he's showing all the sign that he's falling in love with you. It is the most frustrating type to deal with. He even does this when he is the one to pursue you in the first place, and then pull away. So, out of the 3 groups, he is the worst offender because he sees himself as the good guy, a good, decent guy who is a sensitive, caring person, but he is unaware of the negative impact his behaviors is having on his girlfriend. And if he is aware, he might not care. Now, his good qualities are that he's generally likable, sociable, and he doesn't have a hard time attracting women. He can be quite fun and interesting to be with. However, once the pursuit period is over, once he got you, you can feel him slowly pull away, either physically or emotionally, when you want more from him. He may ghost you or give you reasons and excuses of why he's not ready to be in a relationship. Yet he may still go out with you, sleep with you, do couples things together, like you guys are a couple. So little did you know, behind this mysterious charm and easygoing nature, he is really scared of love, and his heart is close and guarded. The inconsistency between his words and actions will make you question yourself and doubt your feelings constantly. Even if you guys are officially a couple, you will sense that he's always have one foot out the door. Overall, there is no sense of emotional safety or security with him. So your natural instinct is to chase after him, to figure him out, to try to solve this mystery, to get him to open up and be fully committed to you. This rarely works, and he will either break up with you or frustrate you so much that you ended up breaking up with him so he doesn't have to be the bad guy. His motto is no pressure, no commitment, no vulnerability. His default mode is to avoid conflict, emotional intimacy, accountability, commitment, or self-reflection. In general, if your ex shows any signs of self-denial, dishonesty, disconnection, distancing, disengagement, or dismissing your feelings, you're most likely dealing with an emotionally unavailable man. He can be primarily one of the three types above, or be a combination of two or all three. Here are some confessions from a former emotionally unavailable guy. See if you resonate with them. Self-denial. I often say that I was fine when I wasn't. I also denied that I had any issues that needed to be worked on. I never took responsibility and most often blamed my girlfriends for the way I was feeling. Dishonesty. I wouldn't tell the women that I was beginning to be interested in someone else. I was too scared and freaked out to let her know for fear of creating more drama I didn't want. Inconsistency. I would say I was into them, and I was pretty convincing. But a day later, I'll be annoyed and irritated and just want to be alone or with guy friends because I thought they were easier. Deep down, men like this are very ambivalent about being close with a woman for a long period of time. The older a man gets, the more he hates this about himself. And he often stays stuck by staying in the relationship, but giving very little. Disconnected. When I used to get triggered by the women I dated, I didn't know how to be with myself or my feelings, so I simply disconnect or checked out. Disengage. For me, the moment my relationships got hard, I have a very hard time showing my genuine interests. So I put on a fake smile and said things were fine. But inside, I was truly losing interest, mostly because I didn't know how to deal with the relationship challenges. Dismissive. Whenever my girlfriends would tell me they're upset, I would become the coach or helper trying to fix them or make them feel better, which often resulted in them feeling dismissed. After analyzing all my ex's history and length, I believe men became emotionally unavailable due to a number of factors. The most significant being their family upbringing, cultural influences, and personal romantic history. At the deepest level is their family history. All of my exes have issues with their father being emotionally or physically unavailable, either through divorce, abandonment, or abuse. Couple that with an overbearing, emotionally needy, or abusive mother, and you'll get an emotionally avoidant boy who escaped to his head and closed down his heart. From this early dynamic, he might unconsciously hold on to the belief that love is scary and painful. It can hurt you through abandonment, abuse, or getting devoured, especially by a woman. Once he's in school, he has to toughen up. Be a man and not cry or show emotions. Otherwise, he can get bullied, shamed, ostracized by his friends. Or he can even get bullied from his teachers. All of this further disconnects him from his heart. If he is lucky enough to avoid all of that childhood trauma, his heartbreak or rejection from a girl that he really likes will most likely make him hold back and not want to risk falling in love. And this is all before he is 20. Underlying all these experiences is a fear of getting hurt or hurting those he loves, and also the core beliefs that he is unlovable for who he is. Then there's the question of where he is in his life currently. Is he going through a breakup? Did he just got through a breakup or a divorce, death in the family, a job loss, career transition, or moving to a new place? He may be even dealing with mental illness or battling some type of an addiction. These situations will definitely make him temporarily or permanently emotionally unavailable to you. It is best to leave him alone and not get into any type of relationship or situationship with him if you guys aren't already in a committed relationship. Any true change can only happen from within the person themselves. Usually, it would take a massive personal crisis to at least wake the guy up to his problems. For a bad boy, he might need to lose his looks, money, status, get a health scare like catching an STD, becoming impotent, or a cancer diagnosis to stop him in his tracks. For Mr. Robot, usually he would need a big slap from reality, like a job loss, depression, or his girlfriend leaving or cheating on him for him to finally wake up and realize that he doesn't have all the answers and beginning to be open to feeling his emotions and valuing their importance. As for Mr. Ambivalent, he can only wake up to selfish ways when his guilt and conscience finally catch up to him, either internally or externally. I remember a scene from the Avengers Civil War when Tony Stark / Iron Man was confronted with this grieving mother over the death of her son. He is finally caught speechless when he is confronted with the impact of his so-called heroic actions. That's when he started to change his ways. So, how many of the men out there who dare to look at yourself honestly, to see all the trail of heartbreaks, damages, and disappointment that you have left behind, and still call yourself a good guy with good intention who deserve a good woman? If you have watched this so far and do not feel slightly sick to your stomach, then your ex might not be emotionally unavailable, or you're still too much in love with him to care. But for those who resonated with what I'm saying, this should explain and validate a lot of your experiences. Once I had a clear picture of what an emotionally unavailable guy is, I immediately lost all attraction for my exes. Seeing the blatant incompatibility lifted my guilt and confusion of what went wrong or how I could have done things differently. I stopped chasing after them for answers. He simply didn't have the capacity to love me the way I wanted or needed due to his own wounds and limitations. I no longer desired to be with someone who emotionally neglected me, make me feel like I'm walking on eggshell around him, or suffer an emotional flu due to his hot and cold ambivalent. Here is a small but powerful ritual that I did to let him go. You can join me if you like. These are just simple household items that you can use as representation. This is for all the times you lied to me and blamed me for the ways you were feeling. I'm giving your self-denial back to you. This is for all those times you failed to show up for me emotionally and make me feel like I'm asking for too much. I'm giving this failure back to you. This is for all those times you hurt me by being ambivalent with your words and actions. I'm giving your unhealed trauma back to you. From you, I reclaim my heart, my power, my strength. I can see now that you're just a joker, one who is not ready or have the capacity to step into the role of a true king, the one who has an open heart, who is not afraid to love and be vulnerable in his masculine strength. You're not him. Goodbye. There's a saying that water seeks its own level, meaning you're not that far developmentally from the people you were in a relationship with. Otherwise, you wouldn't get together in the first place. So recognizing all my ex's flaws and limitations was only half of the growth process. I have to honestly look at myself as well. Was I emotionally unavailable? If so, in what way? So I reread my own definition with some adjustment. I'm a woman who is disconnected from her heart, either temporarily due to circumstances or chronically as the result of my unhealed wounds. Therefore, I'm unable to feel, give, or receive love from others and myself fully or deeply. That sinks in. It hit the spot for me. I was Miss Robot with one of my exes and Miss Ambivalent with the other. This part was very difficult for me to own, but it was necessary for me to stop repeating the pattern. Now at least I have a name to my own issue, so I can work on it. I do believe that all of us, men and women, are emotionally unavailable in one form or another on a spectrum, some more than others. And if we want to have a healthy, functional, and meaningful relationship, the healing starts with us. So I hope this video has been helpful and insightful for you. If you resonate with anything I've said so far in this video, please leave me a comment down below. I would really love to hear your experience. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I will see you soon. This